For the next guy, let's hear it for Josh Reddick.
If you'll forgive me for being from San Antonio, kind of making this comparison, I know every team, you guys won the championship last year. You're looking for long-term success, establishing a situation here. The Spurs have done it for a long time in San Antonio. It's one of those model franchises.
Right.
Do you guys ever find yourself looking at other franchises now? Do you allow yourself that now after this success and now looking down the road?
I haven't looked so far as a franchise. This team has all the potential to be a very good franchise for a long time. If you can keep their core together, they got a great young core here, and for someone like me, I'm happy to be a part of it for as long as I can be. But I think they have the great tools and the great personnel to build a franchise around certain players here, and if they go the right direction, they can do that. But if not, then a lot of guys are going to go off and have some success on their own in different areas.
Is it harder in baseball with the transience of the players? We'll go different places. You'll have in San Antonio at Tim Duncan, Manu Ginobili, Tony Parker, guys that stayed there forever. Do you feel it's harder to establish those kind of long-term dynasties in baseball?
Yeah, I believe so. In baseball, you usually see that with maybe one or two players throughout the course of a career, and even now, especially, you rarely see it. You look at guys like Derek Jeter, what they did for so long for one team for 20 years. You don't get that in baseball or any sport majority unless you're Derek Jeter, Tom Brady, guys like that. So I do think it's a lot harder in baseball because it's just harder to keep cores together, whether it be paychecks or satisfied players wanting to go somewhere. If you're a guy stuck somewhere that's not so much set on winning every year and you're happy, it's kind of frustrating because you want to win a championship, then you can go somewhere else. And then baseball makes it a little easier, I think, to go from one destination to the next.
Now, that said, this year you come in with the core still intact on this team. But after winning a championship, obvious question, when you walked into the locker room the first time, was there a different electricity than there was maybe even last year at this time?
I think maybe myself being more comfortable here would be maybe one of my changes, but the buzz from last year to now, it might just be a little bit louder volume. I think the knob went from about a 7 to about 11 now. So everybody seems to be more comfortable here now that we're part of a good nucleus here. We've got everybody that just wants to be good friends and see each other succeed, and I think that's what makes us such a tight-knit family, is that we just want to see each other succeed. We come in here, whether it be play cards, we'll go sit down, and we're going to be doing something together. We're not going to see a whole lot of guys doing something by themselves.
It's interesting you bring that up. Last year, and Terry Francona came in, talked about the Indians, and this before last season he appeared in San Antonio, and he talked about the idea that locker rooms are a different organism. You've got to have. He talked about having a Napoli in the locker room that kind of was the tent pole with everything else going around. Do you think there's a success ingredient here, kind of like that, where this team just is as an organism, it operates pretty well together?
Yeah, it's so funny the Napoli comparison is great, because you look at a guy like Carlos Beltran, who was here last year, was kind of our centerpiece for knowledge and learning and anything we wanted to go to. He was kind of like our father of the team. He was the guy who we needed anything for, we went for. And now, maybe this year we may not have that person developed yet, but maybe it is, when Verlander came over, he seemed to be jumping into that role pretty well, and he's such a great addition for, not only the pitching staff, but for us as well. For me, he makes a lot of guys here a lot better players.
You're watching Sports Tonight, San Antonio's only nightly 30-minute sportscast with exclusive sports coverage you won't find anywhere else.